Good morning, everyone. Nicole Vincent here. I hope you had a good week last week and hope you had some chances to practice shielding or practice your muscle testing or maybe both. I will tell you with any new technique, it is going to be best if you practice, even if it's just a little bit here and there. And even if you don't feel like you're getting it perfect, just keep trying and you'll figure out what fits well with you and what works the best. So keep trying these new techniques as we learn them. And just if something doesn't resonate with you, if you're like, that's not really for me, just stick it on a shelf and you can go back and access it when you need it if it ever feels like a right fit for you. So today I wanted to talk about how to release stuff that isn't yours. Because a lot of times, especially if you're empathetic, which we talked about last week, the need for shielding, we kind of act as a magnet or a sponge versus a lighthouse. And sometimes that just happens. Sometimes we're around negative people. Sometimes we're in negative situations that we can't necessarily control. And we want to release that stuff that isn't ours because it's kind of like carrying around somebody's luggage at the airport that it's not even yours. You're like, why am I carrying around extra luggage? So I'm going to show you a few different techniques that are super easy and ones that you can do at any time. You can do them daily. You can change them up if you feel the need to, but these are just some ideas to help you. Now, let me give you a few indicators that you might be carrying around something that isn't yours. If you're feeling abnormally depressed or anxious or sad and your experiences or the things that have happened in your life don't really add up. You're like, logically, if I'm thinking about this, I shouldn't be feeling this depressed or I shouldn't be feeling this anxious. That might be an indicator that you've picked up something that isn't yours, that you're being affected by other people's energy or emotions. And so, or just if you kind of feel just burdened, like your shoulder, it just feels heavy. Some people are very, very keen and very, very gifted at being able to pinpoint exactly like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling incredibly frustrated and I don't know why. Or whatever, like you might be able to very, very specifically pinpoint an emotion that you've picked up from someone. But typically it might just kind of be like an overall kind of like, think of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, kind of that like cloud over your head. It just kind of feels heavy and might feel a little bit dark. And that's an indicator that you probably picked up something that isn't yours. An easy way to check is, again, muscle testing. And so that's something that I check several times throughout the day. Even though I do shield, sometimes it happens. So I will just muscle test to say, did I absorb any other people's emotions? And if I get a yes, then what I'm going to do is, this is part of the emotion code, which is I'm a certified practitioner, but you don't have to even know about emotion code to do this. But we're going to just use our hand as a magnet. And if you get a yes, or you just feel like you have, you don't even have to muscle test. If you just feel like you have, we're going to do 3 swipes. Just, I'm releasing any absorbed emotions. Just have that intention. You don't have to say anything super fancy or specific. And you're just going to go 1, 2, 3. Take a deep breath. And it's almost like a weight just lifts off your shoulder. That is my super easiest favorite way to release anything that isn't mine. And it takes anything off that isn't yours and you're good to go. Now, if you feel like there might be something left, or you feel like there might be someone that's kind of like sucking into you, like an emotional vacuum, or someone who's trying to kind of plug into your energy and just kind of drain you, there's some other techniques that you can do. And these are just more, I'm going to show you kind of the physical thing. You can do this as a visualization as well, but a lot of times if we do something physically, it makes it more effective for us just because of our lovely human brain. So one way to do is I call cutting the ties. And so we're just going to pretend like, and we're going to, the purpose of this visualization is that, imagine people are like plugging into you, like your electrical socket, and you've got different people plugging into you. What you can do is just kind of take your hands like scissors, and you're just cutting those ties. Just go through and just say, okay, anybody plugged into me? You're not welcome. And I just kind of go down both my sides and then usually down my front and back. And if you try to, and then you can kind of brush stuff off. Just kind of brush yourself off, any remaining dust, energetic dust, so to speak. And it's really, really effective. Like for me, I just did that and I can feel a shift of the energy flow in my body. I can feel that, ooh, yeah, there was something plugged in and it's gone now. And so I'm standing in my own bubble. So these are just a few techniques that you can use. So again, the 3 swipes over the head, and that's just saying I'm releasing any absorbed emotions, okay? 3 swipes and then a deep breath. You can brush off. So sometimes it just feels like it's just icky, and just brush it off, okay? Cutting ties. And another thing that's really effective for me is I'm a night showerer. And so when I shower at night, I just have the visualization that anything that's extra that isn't mine, that's yucky, that's negative, is just getting rinsed down the drain. And I'm not saying anything specific. I just kind of have like a little blip of a few seconds where I just kind of close my eyes and just kind of have that intention. I'm rinsing off anything that is not mine, that's not needed, and just let it go down the drain. And I will tell you what, these might sound a little hokey, they might sound a little silly, but energy shifts really, really easily when you have that intention. And so don't disregard the power of intention and the power of thought, because it really is powerful. If you feel like you've got people that are constantly trying to re-plug in, that's when that shielding is going to come into play and would be very effective to practice some of your shielding techniques that we talked about last week. So if you guys practice this throughout the week, I do this nightly. I just test every night. Do I have any absorbed emotions? Yes. If I do, it's yes, then I'll just release them. If I have no, then I'm like, I did good that day. But I didn't do bad on the days that I absorbed others' emotions. Sometimes it just happens, and that's not a bad thing. The good thing is that you are learning tools to help get yourself cleansed and do that, so that you're not carrying around baggage that isn't yours. So guys, we'll talk more next week on Monday. I'm not sure what topic we're going to talk about yet. So if there's something that we haven't talked about, I'm still, the things that I have on my list from when I originally posted are using a pendulum, crystals, chakra balancing, and different aromatherapy. I also want to talk about like troubleshooting with muscle testing, because I really feel muscle testing is a super foundational holistic skill that if you get that down, you can go crazy, crazy places with it. Also, thank you for joining us, Laura. So guys, have fun. If you have friends that you feel would be benefit from this group, and as you're having experiences, please share with us. I don't want this group to be a one-woman show. I want you guys to be sharing your experiences and sharing what you learn, so we can all learn from each other. So guys, have a great, great week. Practice your muscle testing, practice your shielding, and now practice getting the gunk off, okay? Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.